Good afternoon, my name is Dementia Cat. I am new to YouTube streaming and creating videos, so please be gentle. I've come across from another streaming platform beginning with T, which I managed to get banned from today for several days, even though it only just gave me PC Live access, purely and simply because apparently part of my stream had a website link on it, which I'm going to show you in a moment anyway, which had gambling on it, which is absolute rubbish. It was just advertisements on the right hand side. Anyway, back to the task at hand. This is Elite Dangerous. There are many professions that you can be within Elite Dangerous and change daily or hourly or by minute. One of them is trading. Trading is the easiest profession to get into. You can do it from minute one, once you get out of the starter zone or even within the starter zone. All ships can be used as trading vessels. The only limitation is the cargo space you can have depending on the type of ship and size of the ship. For me, using medium-sized ships is the most efficient. Also, the type of trading that you'll be doing means that you will be landing at places that only take medium or smaller ships, so therefore using the larger ships is not an option. That being said, you can find trade routes using large ships. It's just a few and far between, and bear in mind that with all trade routes they change every couple of days as far as their availability and lucrativeness is concerned, so therefore using that large ship is not always the best option. I've yet to find a good use for my very large ships for trading. Also, there is the issue with being interdicted, which I'll come to in a moment, and escaping from pirates. If you're on a very large ship, it's not as agile, it's not as quick, so therefore it's harder to get away, and at the end of the day you don't want to lose your precious cargo. A medium-sized ship will get away a little bit easier because it's a little bit more agile. We won't be carrying any guns. There's no point in trying to fight pirates when you've got a belly full of goods. So therefore the medium ships for me is the better choice. You might have a better idea on that, but for me it just works. And not everything with Elite Dangerous is down to personal preferences. There's so many different options. So today we're going to be trading using the transporter T8. You can actually buy this ship now using real money as a jump start, and then retrofit it to have cargo space rather than its normal fit. And I believe there is actually a more expensive option which is geared up towards trading, and then just tweak it to your own preferences. Things like supercomputer for assist, and auto docking and stuff like that, which I have to have because I'm lazy. So let's get into the game. Now before we continue, what I will say as well is there is no merit unless you're doing this in a wing to do open play. No merit at all. Open play is when you'll meet other pilots. You don't need to worry about that. We're grinding credits at the end of the day. That's what we're doing. So we're going to use solo play. So therefore the only interdicting we're going to get for griefing wise is going to be from artificial pilots, which are easy to get away from. You will be interdicted doing these runs. I'm sorry, but you will. They're after your goods. Interdicting basically means when you're in super cruise, which is the one between hyperspace and normal flight, means that they will see you jump into the system, these pirates. They will use the same tools as you're using, so therefore they'll be lurking in the same places. You will get a notification that they're around, generally if they're AI, because in your chat it'll come up with, "Oh, I'm glad I'll find you," type of message. Then be on your guard, wait for it. Interdicted means that suddenly your supercruise gets interrupted and you will see some really funny graphics in the middle of your screen saying that the escape vector is in this location, and you need to try and slow down a little bit, get your mouse pointer at the dead center in the middle of that escape vector and hold it there for as long as possible, and it will be moving around on the screen quite a lot, so it is quite difficult, especially in a larger ship, which is another reason for not using the large ships. It's a little bit easier with the medium ships, even when you're full of cargo. If you can hold it on that escape vector reticle for a few seconds. The little bar on the left turns blue, 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 and then you break the interdiction, and you can then get back to retargeting where you was going to, get your frameshift drive back up to Super Cruise, jump, whatever you need to, get out of the way. If you want to be interdicted, you can slow right down, you submit, you'll come straight out of Super Cruise, and then you're at the mercy of whatever the pirate is. If it's AI, it's just going to want some of your goods, and you can either jettison a few of those, be on your merry way, or boost away. Bear in mind, if you submit, your frameshift drive won't be locked for quite as long. If you make a mistake and get interdicted by not basically keeping it on that little escape vector, your frameshift drive could take 60 seconds before it comes back online. If it's a human pilot and they've managed to interdict you, they will fly a limpet at you, which will stop you from going into frameshift drive anyway, Super Cruise wise that is. So therefore you will have to rely on the speed of your craft and boosting to get far enough away that they cannot control that limpet anymore, and therefore it will blow up, and then you'll obviously be on the cooldown to get your Super Cruise back up. That's the piracy bit. Don't worry too much if you do get interdicted. It will happen from time to time. Just boost away, back into Super Cruise, get back on with it. In all the time I've been doing this, I've never been blown up by pirates, only human ones. The AI ones, no problem at all. Human ones, yeah, they know what they're doing. They've done it before. AI ones are a bit stupid, so you can avoid them. You will only ever get interdicted once or twice maximum if you're using the AI ones, whereas the human ones in open play will just keep coming for you, and follow you across systems if they need to. Now the tool that I use to work out the trade routes, because I don't trust the Starport Services commodities market, is a website. And that website is called inara.cz. So I'm just going to run up my scene 2 so it comes up. There we go. It should be displayed now. No, it's not. There we go. So it's inara.cz/elite. Don't worry about the rest of it. Once you come back in here, click on data, trade routes, and then put in the system where you're currently sitting. Maximum route distance for me is 20 light years. Bear in mind my ship, medium-sized ship, might only jump 15 light years full, so therefore I don't want to be jumping more than 2 or 3 times. Put your cargo capacity in. For me it's 384. I don't want my prices to be too old, so anything up to 24 hours. I just found that 16 hours is reasonable. Additional options, obviously medium pad, small ship, small pad. Minimum supply, you want slightly more than your cargo pack capacity. Don't worry if it's some of the higher end commodities, because it will just refresh. If it's only got 550 and you take 384, you won't come back and find there's only 100. It'll have gone back up by the time you've flown to where you need to go and come back. Station distance is very much a personal preference. I'll tell you about my frameshift drive in a moment, but basically I just set it as a 1000 LS because I don't want to be spending more than a couple of minutes flying from coming out of hyperspace to the station. Demand wise, just leave it at any. Trust me, don't need to worry about it. Even if the demand is 0, they'll still take it in. Alright, the rest of it. If you want surface stations on, put it on. Just bear in mind, if you turn it off, you limit your choices. A lot of the stuff that you're going to be getting is going to be from refineries, so therefore you will need to go to surface stations from time to time. You need to learn how to land at those. There is a trick to it. I will do a separate video maybe another day for that, but it's really easy once you get used to it, and it just adds a few more minutes to the journey time, so we want to try and avoid them if we can. Once you've done that, put the search in. Now we're looking for a few things. We're looking for short distance from the jumping point to the station. We're looking for how long ago it was updated. It's going to be no more than 16 hours. An overall route distance we've set at under 20. That's no problem at all. And the main thing is we're going to be looking at are going to be the actual stations themselves. We want to go to either an outpost or a station preferred. Okay. Now for me, you can then have to put in these systems and see how far they are away from you. If you've got a fleet carrier, this is not a problem because you can just jump in 15 minutes jump 500 light years, you'll always pretty much be in range of the populated areas where these trade routes are. If you haven't got a fleet carrier and you find a nice little route giving you quite a good per hour yield, then you're going to put yourself into a faster, smaller ship, fly down there with as minimal jumps as possible. Remember your fuel scoop, and then have your larger medium transport ship sent to you in about an hour's time. You can start doing some trading. So for me, I happen to be somewhere down here. There we go. So I was in this system, which was quite convenient, because here I go. I've got a 878 396. It's not too bad, a couple of minutes each time. Carrying silver, yeah, nice supply, over 384. That will refresh every time I go there. And I'm going to be jumping to here, which when I checked was only a couple of jumps for me, which was all good because it's only 19.99 light years. I haven't engineered my frameshift drive, it's just an SEO drive. I'll tell you what SEO is in a moment. Updated recently, and on the way back, which is ideal, go out, come back. I'm going to make a small amount of profit coming back. So this is all good for me. I basically used this little key here to copy, and then I went into Galaxy Map and navigated my point to this point and flew here before I started. And then I will be going to here, because I'm already here, and I'll put it into favorites. I'm going to copy this one to come all the way back. So we're looking for silver and then water purifiers. Let's just bring up scene 1. So we're back again. We're back in the room. Let's just get back onto there on here. Starport services. Commodities market, and we're going to buy, and we're buying silver. Fill our bellies. There we go. And making sure we're fueled, and we're going to go auto launch, which is why the auto docking computer, the advanced one, is useful, because now I can just go to Galaxy Map, and we've already copied where we're going to, so we're going to put that into here, cut and paste. 2 jumps, 2 jumps, all done. So what's an SEO drive? It's like a turbo. Don't put it on a small ship. It's like riding a wild pony. It's bad enough on a medium ship. Basically, pressing on my keys, tab key to boost, puts it into overdrive mode, or super overdrive, and it just goes absolutely nuts with the speed. The longer you leave it on, the worse the worse the cursor jumping will be, and also your ship will get very hot very quickly. So only use it in 3 or 4 second bursts. Now for me, because of the stations I'm going to, I won't really need to use it for any length of time. It just speeds the process up. But obviously, if you're looking at 15,000 LS when you get to the system, it can shave minutes off that journey time. Absolute minutes, as long as you just do it in 3 second bursts. Glad to know that I've managed to get my zoom sorted finally. So you won't get interdicted in hyperspace unless you're in a Fargoid area, which we won't worry too much about at the moment because they're all gone. Keep away from the sun. I carry a heatsink as well, just in case I get a bit too close, especially when you're navigating around it to go to the next jump point. If I'm too close, this temperature starts going up quite a bit, where it says 64% at the moment. Once it gets to about 85, 90, I start hitting the heatsink secondary button. Also, whenever you jump into a new system, always honk your D scanner, because you can sell the data later on once you get a few jumps out from the point that you're at. Cartographics at a station. So if we haven't remembered what station we're going to, we can tab back to inara.cz as long as you haven't closed it and see what station it was, but I've memorized it, so I'm all good. I got a bit of a lag glitch I think going on here. There we go. And for me it was Anderson Orbital. Put Supercruise Assist on. Now before I let the computer take over to guide me there, I'm just going to show you what this SEO drive does. Now I haven't got very far to go, so I'll just press tab once and you'll see, bang, watch that counter goes down. Wow, far too quick. It's nasty. It's good if you've got like 2,000, 2,500 to get to the station, but when you've only got 300 or so, if you're going too quickly at this point, it will just overshoot, and then you've got to turn around and come back in, which is actually quite annoying. Don't be tempted to tab out. This is when the pirates will hit you. You're in Super Cruise, you can tell that because you've got the little lines down left and right sides. They will interdict you, but you'll get that warning message if you're in solo play. You won't if it's a human. I don't know if we're going to be very lucky. It does snap all the time. Probably once every 5 or 6 runs. This is actually quite relaxing, and it's a good way of earning a fair amount of credits quite quickly to save up for that fleet carrier. Or if you've got one already, just to boost your funds. Maybe you want to buy that Corvette once you've got your rep up. Maybe you want a beluga liner, do passenger missions. They're all expensive. It all costs credits. And this is one of the easiest ways to get those credits quite quickly, and you can progress, get yourself up to this sort of ship, and it's happy days, seriously. 20 million every 10 minutes, it's easily achieved, and most of that is going to be on the outward run. Another tip, when you come out of Super Cruise assist mode, just press your boost once, there we go. Navigation screen, request docking once we get under 7.5k, and now you can sit back and relax. You're not going to get shot at now. Yes, I can dock manually, but I choose not to. You can obviously boost yourself a couple more times, get yourself a bit close to the post-it note before you activate your auto dock. Depends on how it configures you when you come out of Super Cruise Assist. Sometimes you're on the back of the station, so you just want to boost a little bit, get round to the front, and then activate your auto dock. But this, doing it automatically, excuse me, will save you some credits with repair bills and speeding fines. Once we're docked, always refuel. Starport services. Commodities market. We're selling. Go down to a nice little bit of silver that we picked up. Here she is. As you can see, 17 million. That was quick. And now we're going to buy. What did we want? See, now I've forgotten. So I'm just going to bring that up as to what we needed to come back with. And that was water purifiers. No problem at all. Go down to water. We're not going to get much profit out of this. Oh, there's only got 118 anyway. Okay, that's a bit boring. But it might pay for the fuel. So, to be honest with you, normally it's a little bit more than that. But we won't worry too much about it or grumble. Auto launch. And then we're going back to where we came from. Now, one thing that I tend to do is the return journey. If it's got a weird name, is just put it into my bookmarks and then clear it off afterwards, because you can never remember the numbers. You can always remember iRuler, but hip 46523 blah 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 blah. No, just put it in your bookmarks. So basically, when you bring it up after you typed it in that first time, you just click on it and then you'll bookmark it. Okay, it come up on the left hand side. Pressure control for next station. Boost yourself away from the station. Once you're not mass locked anymore. When we get back, I'll show you my fit. Oh no, I can't. Well, I can. The station we're going to, unfortunately, is an outpost. Should have done it in the previous one. Never mind. Actually, we'll do a second run. I've got enough time. And then hopefully I can show you my fit a bit better. For this particular craft, anyway. I think if you buy the pre-configured one, it's not a million miles away, but doesn't tend to come with the flight assists, super cruise assist and auto docking. I also carry obviously heatsink and also chaff just in case I get a nasty human chasing me with missiles. And point defense to take those missiles out as well. It was Bennett Station, wasn't it? Bennett Station, yep. So this one's a little bit further away, so I'm just going to take myself off and show you the SEO drive in action again. Watch that distance counter go down. Just for a couple of seconds. It's very tempting to use it for longer. Kind of maybe again, wait for it to recharge. Come on. Yeah, I know, I pressed it twice. It just shaves time off. That's all it does. See, I was going too quick. This is what the mistake you will make if you have it on for too long, which I did. As quick as that. And it's taking me over, which has wasted some valuable seconds. So there's a good 101 straight away there. Don't be too hasty with it. Because now I've got to slow down, turn round, and get back on track. I tend to not bother with it unless the station distance is like 2,000 plus. It's just no point. Goods wise, it makes no odds. Whatever's going to give you the most profit. You will learn as well that certain stations that are in boom will want certain goods. And sometimes when you're flying around, you'll notice that something, oh, that station has just come into boom, and I can buy that from where I'm going. So therefore, you can make a little bit more profit than what Inara says. Or sometimes there's another station in the system you're at, so therefore you can buy something completely different and take it to that station, which just gives you an extra little stop, or the same stuff, you get more money for it. Gold is always a lucrative one. The problem with gold is it's never in very good supply, which is why I put the 500 plus on. There's no point in carrying 10 of the item. Unless you're doing a mixed load, of course. Now, this is what happens generally when you're in open play. Now, it just goes to show that it can still happen in solo play. An AI ship is basically hogging the station. So the way to get around this is generally get quite close. And then you'll notice that the ship that's been hogging the point will bugger off. There we go. Again, you can get quite clever at this point. Boost very, very close to the landing pad before auto dock kicks in. If you're doing any kinds of forwards or backward motion, it will not kick in the auto dock. So I have been known, when I want to do this really quickly, but I didn't want to make too many mistakes, is to get myself somewhere about here and then slow down, and then the auto dock kicks in. Just shaves a few seconds off, that's all. Now, generally speaking, this would have been a bit more lucrative than what this is going to be. So I do apologise for this being really rubbish, because it only had 118 of them, so I'm literally just paying for my fuel. Normally it'd be about 1 million or so. Never mind. So, buy. And as you can see, 1230 at the minute, still fine. If it gets down to a point where there's not enough to fill your hold, just log out and log back in, and then it will refresh. Or go and get a cup of tea after you've logged out. So we're going to launch. Station navigation, galaxy map. That was iRuler, which I'm not sure if I've got in here. No, yes I do. I've still got it on. Ready to go. Incidentally, that docking music, which you get on the auto dock, has been here since what, 1984? Since the original BBC Micro version of Elite. It's one of the reasons why I like having the auto dock. Nostalgia. Be aware some of goods are illegal to carry in some systems. It will give you a warning. If you are carrying it and you get scanned, you will get attacked. So here goes my honking. Honking, D-scanner. Hear that? If it's a new system, which obviously these weren't for me, it's always worth doing it and then saving up the data and selling it when you go somewhere else. I'm doing all this and probably find that the station I'm going to still doesn't have outfitting. Never mind. We'll see. Addison orbital. And we won't use the SCO this time because it's just not far enough for it. So future videos will include the Rubigo mines run. Again, that's a good way of earning credits, 100 million an hour, easy. And it's the easiest thing in the world, just got to get there. Don't ask me to do mining because I hate it. I don't know why anyone would want to do mining. It's boring as hell. Flying through asteroids at higher speed, being chased is fun. Sitting amongst them, blasting them with lasers or explosive is the most boring thing in the world. I'll be doing conflict zones. I can't show any Fargoid war stuff because it's literally just ended after 2 years. Maybe we'll go fly and see some of the gas clouds left behind. They recently attacked mankind's homeworld in Seoul, and that actually caused a massive spike in the amount of people that came online on open play, which was kind of cool because you could find groups to go in with other pilots, do lots of little bombing runs. That was a lot of fun. It's probably one of the last times in 2-3 years I've actually had people online that you could actually see. These days the player fan base is, although it's still quite large, it's a big universe out there, so therefore they're spread out all over the place doing all different things, so therefore bumping into actual humans is quite rare. So I'm not going to invoke my auto docking. I'm just going to show you one of the things I do when I'm paying attention properly, and you can see the post box just there. So I'm just boosting myself just because the computer can make a bit of a hash of it. Slow myself right down and then request docking quite late. And if you time it right, you see? You can just shave a few seconds off. If you cock it up, you crash into the station, which is why you have a shield. "10 years this game's been out now. Long time. It's going to sell my goods. Silver. Another 17 million. So that's 35 million in what? 35 million in just over 30 minutes. I was waffling at the start. So yeah, very achievable. 75 to 100 in the time frame, which is not bad going. So go to outfitting and I'll just show you my fit for this particular craft, the T8 transporter, before I log off. Unnecessary animation. Okay, so as you can see, I'm rocking no defense because I want my ship to be as light as I can. I'm not going to be fighting in a medium-sized transporter ship. Utility mounts, I carry in one heat sink launcher for when I get too close to the sun. 2-point defense to stop those missiles hitting me from the humans. One chaff launcher for the same reason. So basically chaff launcher to take the heat off. Point defense if they get through. Core internals, standard lightweight alloy. Don't need anything else. You just want it as light as possible but affording some sort of protection. Standard power plant 5A, not done anything with it. You can engineer that, but what's the point? You're not carrying any weapons. You're not carrying beam guns or anything. Thrusters, this is one thing I should really engineer, because if you can engineer your thrusters, if you got to that stage with the engineer person, you can actually make your ship relatively faster for boosting and top speed. So that's something maybe I should do on this particular craft but haven't. So standard SEO unengineered drive. You can type in the same website I just showed you to find where to buy those. They're not overly expensive. The SEO means you've got that extra boost speed, which is really useful and recommended. Standard life support, and today I'm not intended to get exploded. Standard power distributor, because I haven't got any issues with running guns. Fuel tank, can't remember what was standard, but probably that was it. Optional internal, this is where my cargo wraps are. Basically, I'm going to use the biggest I can get. They do get more expensive the bigger they are in the higher slots, just bear it in mind. So I've got 128, then a class 6, 64, 64, 64, 32, 32, And then my shield. The only place I could effectively stick the shield as a class 4, because I want a decent shield, because I will get attacked. I could have stuck another cargo rack in there and not had a shield, but then I would have died quite quickly. And obviously, if you do want to, you can take away one of those cargo racks and put in a fighter hangar. It might take the heat from your butt while you're being fired at by AI, but then you leave the fighter behind. I don't know. I've never had any reason to have it, but that's just one way of doing it. So I think that's pretty much it for today. Potential there to earn lots of money. Just make sure you use that website that I showed you. Pick out your trips. Bear in mind they change after a couple of days, so you will need to move yourself to another location. My recommendation is find yourself a station like I am now. Move your small fast ship to here while you're doing your runs. Once you're finished for that day or a couple of days and there's no more boom time trading at this particular location because 2 days has passed ish, get back in your small ship, find your next route, get yourself off to there very quickly in your small ship or your fleet carrier if you're lucky enough to have one, and then rinse and repeat basically, and you'll soon have yourself a fleet carrier, you'll soon have yourself a larger ship. And also if you move a couple of different classes of ship here, maybe you've got one that you'll use for conflict zones, you can just go in between doing the runs because it does get a bit boring, do some conflict zones, high density, medium density, low density, whatever your preference is, get your elite rating up for the combat, get some additional credits, albeit not as many as what you're doing now. Lo and behold, yeah, mining you could do, but let's not go there. And obviously you can take yourself off to Robigo is the other thing you can do, which I will show you in the next video. It's a bit of a trek out there, better if you've got a fleet carrier. Once you get there, it's an easy 100 mil. You just got to fit your craft out a specific way, which I will come to when I do the video. So like if you like, don't like if you don't like. Please don't leave me hate mail. I will troll you back. I'm sorry, I will. All right, because I've been here far too many years not to. Please take it easy and stay safe out there. And remember, fly what you can afford to lose.